The Sinan mainland is a realm of immortal cultivation, where cultivators are revered as superior beings, while mortals must labor endlessly throughout their lives. Driven by desperation, mortals dedicate their existence to seeking methods of attaining immortality. At the beginning of the tale, a plump young man struggles to climb a mountain. Muttering to himself, he says, "My mother insists I must climb this mountain to cultivate immortality. She claims it's the only way I'll ever find a good wife. But this is harder than I thought. I've been wandering around for half the day, and no one has offered me any help." He clutches a flyer in his hand, which reads, "Spend all your money to buy a cake or earn a ticket to the divine immortal gate." The young man sighs, thinking, "This is my only remaining option, joining the divine immortal sect." He gazes at the shabby house in front of him, sweat dripping as he wonders, is this really the place? A mere thatched hut? Is this even legitimate? Frustrated, he tosses the flyers to the ground and shouts angrily, "This is a scam! What a waste of time, forget it!" Just as he's about to leave, a hand suddenly grabs his leg tightly. Startled, the young man turns to see a disheveled figure clinging to him. "Who are you?" he demands. The man looks up with a confident grin and replies, "I am none other than Wang Fong, the master of the divine immortal sect." Wang Fong then explains, 3 days ago, I was just a comic book author pulling all-nighters, dreaming of cultivating immortality. I overexerted myself, and before I knew it, I was summoned by the king of hell. My soul was transported to this world of immortal cultivation." He continues, "When I arrived, I found myself completely unclothed and falling through the air. I accidentally collided with an elderly immortal flying on his sword. The impact was so severe that I flipped and crashed headfirst into the ground, twisting my face. Damn, flying on swords? Is this really a world of immortal cultivation? And that old man, he's an immortal, yet lacks any refinement." Still in a daze, Wang Fong recalls how a sudden system notification appeared in the sky. "You have a new message." Startled, he sat up and read the notification. "Congratulations, host. You have arrived at the Sinan mainland." At first, Wang Fong was confused and stayed silent. The system continued sending messages, urging him to connect with the strongest sect. It was only then that he realized the significance of this golden opportunity. Overwhelmed with joy, he exclaimed, "Long live this golden finger! If I've made it to the world of immortal cultivation, there must be heaven-defying spiritual energy, inherited techniques, and unparalleled magical treasures waiting for me." Not 5 seconds into his joy, the system shattered Wang Fong's excitement by announcing, "None of that exists. This system is merely an amateur version. The host is expected to establish a sect and make it renowned." Wang Fong's face turned dark. "Are you kidding me? None of it? Damn this system." Moments later, another notification appeared. The host can earn rewards by recruiting disciples. Would the host like to accept that the task name was Novice Mission? The reward? The unique supremacy of the North Wilderness. The deadline was 3 days. The task details were as follows. Within 3 days, the host must recruit one disciple into the sect. The recruit must willingly hand over all their wealth as an entrance fee. This will be the criterion for task completion. Reading this, Wang Fong was dumbfounded. What the hell is this? Recruiting disciples? Forcing them to hand over their wealth? This is poking a hornet's nest. Frustrated, Wang Fong lamented, "No spiritual energy, no skills, no magical weapons. What am I supposed to use to attract disciples?" Suddenly, the system's notification turned red. "Warning, if the host fails to complete the novice mission within the allotted time, you will be hunted by the system." Cold sweat dripped down Wang Fong's face. This cursed system. I'll be erased if I don't comply. I have no choice but to work hard over the next 3 days to find a disciple. Time passed quickly, and as the deadline loomed, only one person arrived. A fool, by Wang Fong's estimation. He turned to the chubby young man with an exaggeratedly enthusiastic expression and said, "Young man, I must say your bone structure is exceptional. You're a rare genius for cultivation, 1 in 10,000. I've decided to take you in as my disciple." The young man glared at Wang Fong with disdain. "Who do you think you're fooling? Disciple? You make me sick." He jabbed his finger at Wang Fong and shouted, "Isn't your so-called divine immortal sect just a rundown shack? And look at you, dressed like some circus clown. It's obvious you're up to no good." Wang Fong, unfazed, put his arm around the young man's shoulders and smiled. "Young man, don't be so quick to judge. Sects and people are alike. You can't judge them by their appearance. Think about it. Those sects with grand temples all see you as just a clumsy child, unworthy of being their disciple. But I, a true master, can recognize your extraordinary potential." Hearing this, the young man's heart softened, and his eyes grew misty. Do you really think I can cultivate immortality? Can I truly become a deity? Seizing the opportunity, Wang Fong pulled out a flyer and held it up. Do you know why our sect is called the Divine Immortal Sect? Because the name speaks the truth. Joining my sect will make you a deity. Hearing this, the young man immediately began to daydream, imagining himself surrounded by wealth, holding treasures of gold and silver, dreaming of having the power to rescue beautiful maidens and marry a stunning wife. The young man, drooling with excitement, decided to take out his bag of money and present it. Is it true that I can become a deity? He asked eagerly. Seeing the bag of money, Wang Fong's eyes lit up, and he extended his hand with a wide smile. Of course, my dear disciple. With trembling hands, the young man handed over the money bag. Wang Fong, unable to contain his excitement, snatched the bag eagerly. But what if I don't succeed in becoming an immortal? The young man asked hesitantly. Don't worry, it's 100% guaranteed, Wang Fong replied confidently. If you fail, I'll refund your money, find you another sect, and even help you find a beautiful wife. The young man, half believing and half doubting, squinted at Wang Fong suspiciously. Wang Fong, still grinning, said, What's with the hesitation, chubby? You're a natural-born genius for cultivation. Looking up at the sky, the young man thought to himself, He's so eager to recruit me into his sect. I must really be a genius. There's no room for doubt now. After a moment's hesitation, the young man finally handed over the money bag, but not without conditions. I can't stand dieting or harsh training. You must make sure I have plenty of meat and fish with every meal. My clothes are washed by someone else, and I get to rest whenever I feel tired. Wang Fong chuckled and said, These are trivial matters for our sect. Consider them done. However, inwardly, he grumbled, This isn't a disciple I've recruited. It's an ancestor. If I weren't terrified of being erased by the system, I'd send him straight to his real ancestors. The young man tossed the money bag into Wang Fong's hands. At that moment, a system notification appeared. Congratulations, host. You have successfully accepted your first disciple, activating the strongest sect system and unlocking the attribute panel. Check your rewards. Wang Fong's face lit up with excitement. He eagerly glanced at the system board. Rewards? Let's see what I've got. Before he could examine anything, the young man lunged forward, hugging him tightly. Master, you're amazing. Not only did you accept me, but you're spoiling me like this. Even my parents don't treat me this well. From now on, can I call you Brother Wang Fong? Annoyed, Wang Fong grumbled. Brother, my foot. Don't bother me while I'm checking my rewards. He pushed the chubby young man away and sighed, only for the disciple to shout, Brother Wang Fong, I'm hungry. Shouldn't there be a welcome feast for me? With half-closed eyes, Wang Fong muttered, Fine, I'll prepare something for you, using it as an excuse to escape. Once outside the dilapidated house, he immediately opened the system panel in secret to check his rewards and attributes. The system interface appeared, displaying the character attributes. Host, Wang Fong. Cultivation, none physique, none lineage, none sect. Created, Divine Immortal Sect. Disciple, Ling Summoning. Opportunity, 1 prize chance. 1. As Wang Fong read the attributes displayed by the system, he sighed heavily. I really am a being with 3 useless attributes. How can I claim to be a sect leader when I have nothing at all? However, his attention shifted to the summoning opportunity and prize chance listed at the bottom. Is this the reward? What's the purpose of this system if it gives me nothing useful? Responding to his complaint, the system displayed an image and explained. Hearing this, Wang Fong's eyes lit up. The mention of a celestial realm expert took him back to his first days on the Sinan mainland. On the first day, he wandered through a barren wasteland, shivering from the cold and feeling utterly alone. On the second day, the system offered him nothing but a dilapidated house. By the third day, he was curled up inside that shabby shelter, staring blankly into the void and muttering in despair, I want to leave this wretched place. I want to go home. Snapping back to the present, Wang Fong stretched his hand toward the system panel and shouted, System, summon now. You must summon a powerful champion immediately. As soon as he finished, a teleportation portal appeared out of nowhere. From the portal, a pair of feet emerged, and the dilapidated house suddenly emitted a brilliant, blinding light. Nearby, Ling, who had been casually chasing butterflies, was startled by the sudden light. The force sent him tumbling backward, and he screamed, Mom! Is there an earthquake? The ground trembled violently as the light grew brighter, enveloping everything around. Ling panicked, shielding his eyes from the glow. When he finally opened them, he saw the house completely unharmed, glowing in the radiant beam. Terrified, Ling threw the door open and dashed inside. What greeted him made his eyes widen in disbelief. Wang Fong sat calmly at a table, sipping tea, seemingly indifferent to the chaos outside. Rushing over, Ling accidentally knocked the cup of tea out of Wang Feng's hand, spilling it all over his face. Brother! No! Sect Master! What just happened? Ling shouted. Irritated, Wang Feng wiped the tea from his face and glared at Ling. What are you doing? Can't I enjoy a quiet moment to drink my tea in peace? Ling frantically pointed toward the door. What tea are you drinking? You can't even see the sun outside anymore. Outside Wang Feng's house, a man appeared, completely enveloped in a torrent of abundant spiritual energy. His expression was serious, and his eyes remained tightly shut. This was Yigu Chang, the Lord of White Cloud City. Wang Feng stepped outside, his face lighting up with excitement as he burst into hearty laughter. In stark contrast, Ling looked as though he had just seen a monster. As Yigu Chang descended, Ling cried out in panic. An immortal! No, a monster is coming this way. Wang Feng chuckled and whispered to Ling, a monster? That's the protector of our sect, Master. You never mentioned we had someone like this in our sect. What realm is he? Medium spirit realm? Profound realm? Ling stammered. Wang Feng furrowed his brows in thought. Indeed, this is the cultivation realm they speak of in the immortal cultivation world. Yigu Chang is a great master of swordsmanship in the novel Gulong. I wonder if he can hold his own in this world. After pondering for a moment, Wang Feng called up the system panel to view Yigu Chang's attributes. The screen lit up, revealing the details. Character: Yigu Chang. Origin: Gulong martial arts novel, hailing from Fane Island in the southern seas. Title: Lord of White Cloud City. Skills: Renowned Master of Swordsmanship, the only swordsman recognized by the sword, God Shaiman Chu. Cultivation: Nobility Realm, Peak. Transcending the realm of mystique. Weapon: Extraordinary. Wang Feng raised an eyebrow and muttered, Only Nobility Realm Peak? Ling's jaw dropped, his face pale with disbelief. Sect Master, are you even speaking human language? The Nobility Realm is the peak of strength in the Empire. Seeing Ling's exaggerated reaction, Wang Feng couldn't help but chuckle to himself. This kid's shock is amusing. I've been overthinking it. Strength is strength no matter the world. At that moment, Yigu Chang stepped forward, clasped his hands, and bowed deeply. Yigu Chang greets the sect master. Wang Feng walked forward with a warm smile. Elder Yigu, there's no need for such formality. Ling, however, seemed utterly petrified. His thoughts raced wildly. All these years, I've seen strange things, like pigs climbing trees. But I've never seen someone at the peak of the nobility realm bowing to another. Just what kind of divine being is our sect master? Wang Feng, noticing Ling's frozen expression, glanced away, sweating slightly. He muttered under his breath, These martial arts novels really overdo the dramatics. Speaking like this is exhausting. Maybe that silly kid should take my place. Wang Feng turned with a bright smile and said, Lang, meet Elder Yigu. Lang immediately straightened up, clasped his hands respectfully, and bowed. Disciple Lang pays his respects to Elder Yigu. Wang Feng observed Lang's newfound respect with a confident grin. After realizing how formidable Yigu Chang was, even this foolish boy had become more subdued. Wang Feng thought to himself, at least we can worry a bit less now. He turned his attention to the system and asked, What's the purpose of the prize draw opportunity? In an instant, the system board displayed a new message, Prize Draw Opportunity. The host can win rewards such as physique enhancements, summoning powerful entities, acquiring rare bloodlines, or improving cultivation. Prizes can be utilized by either the sect disciples or the host. Wang Feng's eyes lit up with excitement as he read, So, I can become an immortal myself? System, let me draw now, he exclaimed, pointing at the board like he had struck gold. The system responded quickly. The image of Yigu Chang appeared on the board, followed by the announcement, Congratulations, host. You have drawn 100% of Yigu Chang's cultivation. Please choose whether to use it yourself or allocate it to a disciple. Wang Feng stared at the prize in his hand, his eyes gleaming. As the sect master, why would I give this to a disciple when I can use it to level up myself? He turned to the system again. How much can my cultivation level increase with 100% of Yigu Chang's cultivation? The system replied, The host can advance to the early stage of the entry phase realm. Wang Feng frowned and muttered, System, can't you speak like a normal person? Fine, I'll ask someone else. He turned to Lang. Do you know how cultivation realms are categorized? Lang straightened up and confidently replied, Of course I do. Cultivating immortals is divided into 10 major realms: Foundation Establishment, Profound Vein, Medium Spirit, Profound General, Entry Phase, Nobility, Profound Sovereign, Profound Venerable, Profound Saint, and Profound Emperor. Wang Feng's expression shifted into contemplation. as Lang added in a murmur. Why is the sect master asking such a basic question? Understanding the hierarchy of realms, Wang Fong closed his eyes in deep thought. So, entry phase is just the 5th level, smack in the middle, not too high or too low. But it's still not good enough. I'm practically starting from scratch. After a moment, he shoved the glowing orb of reward energy into his chest and shouted, System, upgrade my cultivation. A tremendous surge of spiritual energy erupted, enveloping Wang Fong. Within moments, his body transformed, robust, brimming with vitality, and radiating intense spiritual power. His cultivation now emanated an overwhelming strength, impossible to contain. Lang, standing behind him, watched in awe, his mouth agape. Sect Master, your power! It's incredible. In an instant, Wang Fong's clothes tore apart, revealing a muscular, imposing figure. Lang, wide-eyed and amazed, exclaimed, The Sect Master is a monster! How can someone look like this? The Sect Master is definitely not an ordinary immortal. Wang Fong glanced at Lang, who was gawking at him with awe. He thought to himself, I need to come up with an excuse for this fool. He wouldn't understand the truth. He then spoke with a calm, authoritative tone. Lang, this display of power is to show you what's possible at the entry phase realm. If you cultivate diligently, I guarantee that in a year, you will reach this level too. Lang's jaw dropped, his face frozen in disbelief. Reaching the entry phase realm in a year? That's impossible. Only a top genius could achieve that. Most people wouldn't step into this realm even in a lifetime. Overcome with emotion, Lang rushed over and clung to Wang Fong's legs. Tears streamed down his face as he gazed up at the sky. I never thought I'd have this opportunity. The incense from my ancestors' graves must have blessed me to join the Divine Immortal Sect. Lang fell to his knees, bowing repeatedly before Wang Fong. Sect Master, I promise to train diligently and never disappoint your kindness. Watching Lang's overwhelming enthusiasm, Wang Fong felt a pang of unease. I can't possibly tell him this is just from a lucky draw. He quickly composed himself, spreading his arms wide, tilting his face toward the sky, and closing his eyes as if savoring the moment. This must be the sensation of entering the entry phase realm, Wang Fong murmured, inhaling deeply. The world seemed to come alive. He could hear the faintest sounds, water droplets falling, flowers blooming in their full glory, and the gentle fluttering of wings. It was chilling yet mesmerizing. In the sky, a bird flew gracefully, unaware of what was coming. Suddenly, a foot stomped on the bird mid-flight, leaving it gasping in shock. Wang Fong's eyes snapped open as a dark-faced girl descended from the heavens at lightning speed, stomping on the bird once more. Her expression was sour, as if someone had stolen her prized possession. Standing below, Wang Fong observed her carefully. Her unusual aura and commanding presence clearly marked her as a practitioner of considerable skill. With a confident smile, he raised his finger and said, Surely this must be a fellow practitioner visiting our divine immortal sect. We should greet them. He turned to Yigu Chang and added, Elder Yigu, why don't you assess the situation? We don't know if this guest is a friend or foe. Let's proceed with caution. Yigu Chang nodded, stepping forward with his sword in hand. He thrust the blade into the ground, his gaze sharpening. A strange white aura began emanating from the sword as he focused his energy in one direction. In a hoarse, commanding voice, he called out, May I ask where my friend comes from? As soon as Yigu Chang finished speaking, the ground trembled violently. His sword was suddenly flung into the air, and a powerful whirlwind emerged from beneath the earth, piercing through him and throwing him aside. The whirlwind, growing more intense by the second, inadvertently swept all of Wang Fong's flyers into the sky. The three of them looked up at the spinning flyers, dumbfounded. Lang cried out, Oh, the flyers for our divine immortal sect! Wang Fong, straining to make himself heard over the roar of the tornado, shouted, Do people in the martial world always create such grand battles? Just as he finished speaking, the girl from earlier fell out of the vortex. She looked around, frowning deeply as if searching for something. Before anyone could react, the unfortunate bird from before was once again subjected to her relentless foot. She stepped on it harshly, muttering, Is your back a temple or something? Why do I keep stepping on you? Suddenly, one of the sect flyers caught in the whirlwind fluttered down, landing right in front of her. Startled, she instinctively drew the sword from her waist. Without a moment's hesitation, she unleashed a deadly strike on the seemingly harmless flyer. Yigu Chang, watching this unfold, frowned deeply. Tightening his grip on his sword, he growled, Do not destroy the items of our sect. He immediately unsheathed his blade, its surface glowing with a dazzling light. A wave of spiritual energy enveloped the sword as Yigu Chang swung it, releasing a stream of sword chi toward the falling flyer. The spiritual airflow struck the paper precisely, causing it to fly directly toward the girl. In the blink of an eye, the flyer stuck to her face, startling her. She froze, blinking in confusion, as the paper adhered even more tightly. Panicking, she grabbed at the flyer but in doing so, lost her balance and fell from above. The girl hit the ground with a loud crash, creating a small explosion right in front of Wang Fong. Dust settled, and Wang Fong pointed toward the scene with a mix of confusion and amusement. With this kind of greeting, Elder Yigu, even a friend might turn into an enemy. Ling, why don't you go say hello? As the mist from the impact cleared, the girl's battered figure came into view. She lay sprawled on the ground, her body covered in scrapes and bruises. Still clutching the flyer tightly, Ling hesitated before timidly approaching. Miss Fairy, are you all right? He asked nervously. Meanwhile, Yiguchang sheathed his sword, but not before shooting a sharp glare over his shoulder, clearly irritated. The girl slowly sat up, pulling the flyer from her face and staring blankly at it. Ling gasped as he got a proper look at her face. His eyes widened in fear, and he stammered, "It has nothing to do with me. Mom! Boo-hoo!" The girl gritted her teeth in anger. With a dark expression, she slammed her hand down on the ground, creating another tremor. Her entire body exuded a dark, menacing aura filled with evil energy. Witnessing this, Lang panicked. Tears streamed down his cheeks as he scrambled to his feet, curling his legs close to his body in fear. He ran off, crying, unable to handle the situation. Hearing Lang's terrified cries, Wang Fong chuckled. "That's not trash you're holding," he said, addressing the girl. "It's a flyer from our divine immortal sect." The younger girl furrowed her brows and unfolded the paper. She stared at it, wide-eyed, before exclaiming, "A flyer?" After examining it for a moment, she raised her head. Her eyes filled with confusion. "Is this really the divine immortal sect? What else could it be?" Wang Fong replied confidently. "I am Wang Fong, the sect master of the divine immortal sect. It says so right on the flyer." As soon as he finished speaking, the system suddenly displayed a notification. "Ding! You have a new message. Congratulations, host. You have found a genius. New mission. Recruit 10 disciples. Reward. 10 summoning chances and 10 prize chances." Wang Fong's eyes lit up with excitement. 10 summoning chances and 10 prize chances? He muttered to himself. His mind raced with possibilities. If I managed to get Yi Gucheng and his sword through a prize chance, what could I achieve with a true genius as a disciple? He thought for a moment before spreading his arms wide and saying enthusiastically to the girl, "Young lady, I must say I'm deeply impressed by your talent. You must be a cultivation genius." Lang, sitting nearby, rolled his eyes and muttered under his breath. This line sounds awfully familiar. Feeling annoyed, Lang grabbed a stack of flyers, stood up, and glared at Wang Fong. "Sect Master, do you say that to everyone you meet?" Before Lang could continue, Wang Fong quickly moved to cover his mouth, his face drenched in sweat. Lang's wide-eyed surprise was evident, but Wang Fong ignored it. Turning back to the girl, Wang Fong tried to maintain his composure. "I've carefully considered this," he said aloud, though internally he was strategizing. She was riding a flying bird earlier, which shows her abilities are extraordinary. She must have considerable knowledge and combat experience. Her realm may not be higher than mine, but her skills are surely superior. My usual tactics won't work on someone like her. The younger girl paused for a moment before speaking. "You claim to be the sect master of the divine immortal sect, right?" "Yes," Wang Fong replied, still smiling confidently. The girl took another glance at the flyer, then placed her hand on its large printed title. With a surprisingly gentle expression, she asked, "The flyer says the divine immortal sect is recruiting disciples. Do you think I can join?" Wang Fong froze, stunned by her question. Both he and Liang were thrilled, their eyes sparkling with excitement. "I never expected such a sweet opportunity to fall right into my lap," Wang Fong thought, barely able to contain his joy. "I never imagined that this fairy could become my junior sister, my fellow disciple." Just as Wang Fong and the girl were basking in the moment, a warning from the system appeared. "Detected. The host is in an excessively joyful state. A gentle reminder. Do not celebrate too early. If the other party does not pay the entrance fee, they will not be considered a disciple." Fuming, Wang Fong slammed his hand down on the table, shouting, "Damn! Does this damn system have so many rules?" He raised his hand, covering his face, and closed his eyes tightly. "The regulation of our divine immortal sect requires you to voluntarily submit all the money you have on you as the sect fee." Hearing his words, the girl suddenly rushed forward, grabbing his hand tightly. She pressed his hand against her chest, closing her eyes and making a cute, pleading face. "I rushed out without any money on me. Can I make up for it later? She asked softly. Wang Fong was sweating as he stammered, the rule is the rule. It must be followed. In his heart, though, he thought bitterly, if I could avoid this fee, I would gladly do so. But the system's requirements are non-negotiable. Lang stood there, stunned, as the realization hit him. Even someone like Ling Fei, a mighty figure, wanted to join the sect and still had to pay the sect fee? And now, the sect master is collecting money? His mind was spinning with disbelief. Just as Wang Fong was grappling with the absurdity, a group of strange people suddenly appeared. Hey, beauty, do you really think you can escape the grasp of the marquee? Hearing the unfamiliar voices, the girl's eyes widened in panic, and Wang Fong's white-haired disciple glared at them with a sinister smile. Even your father can't protect you, one of them sneered. What can these monkeys in the mountains do to help you? Ling Feiwu turned, sword pointed forward, frowning in anger. Lun, I'm now a disciple of the divine immortal sect. In front of my sect master, you won't easily destroy your humanity. The man standing next to him felt a pang of irritation. I thought desserts would fall from the sky, but instead, I've become dessert for someone else. Suddenly, Lin Yuni leapt down from a tree, landing gracefully, his gaze fixated on the sky with a strange expression. He gathered energy in his hands, his eyes sharp. You dare to steal the prey of the marquee? He growled. The marquee doesn't mind delivering a strike. Though my lackeys have all reached the profound general realm, it's only one level below my own, but there are 5 of them, and I don't know what level their captain is. Wang Fong rubbed his chin, closing his eyes as he pondered. This disciple recruitment process might have some unexpected danger. Ling Feiwu trembled as he stared intently at the shimmering sword in his hands. At the same time, Lang stepped forward and pointed confidently at Lin Feiwu. Ha ha, little junior sister, you don't have to be afraid. It's just the profound general realm. My sect master can crush them with just a fingertip. The young men, who had been insulted, gritted their teeth and frowned painfully. Wang Fong wasn't much better, his sweat pouring down his face like rain as he muttered to himself, Lang, you're such a fool, always causing trouble for me. Even if my entry phase realm could handle a profound general in combat, I have no real experience. If I get involved, I'll definitely lose, affecting my grand plan of accepting disciples. After a brief moment of thought, he raised his head, his expression dazed, and forced a silly smile. Lin Feiwu looked up at him and, seeing his uncertainty, knelt before Wang Fong, clasping her hands tightly and exclaiming, Thank you, Sectmaster, for your help. Hearing this, Wang Fong raised his hand, closed his eyes tightly, and confidently said, Don't worry. With me here, no one can bully you. He spoke grandly, but deep down, he felt petrified. You all just echo each other. Please don't put me on the roasting pan. As soon as he finished, Lin Yun's group landed right in front of Wang Fong, yelling, What kind of game is this? Daring to show danger in front of me. Let me teach you how to write the word for death. Their subordinates, some wielding daggers, some swords, and others knives, rushed forward with fierce, cold expressions. Faced with their chaotic onslaught, Wang Fong was taken aback, his eyes wide in astonishment. The image of a sharp sword was clearly reflected in his pupils. Suddenly, a barrier of reactive space appeared behind Wang Fong, slowing their speed instantly. A young man swung his blade down toward him, but strangely, the sword blade distorted in his palm. On the surface of the blade, Wang Fong's face beamed with joy. Behind him, a girl appeared, holding a dagger tightly in her hand. It seemed that in the world of cultivating immortals, being one level higher could indeed crush others. However, the crazed individuals continued to frantically slash their feeble swords at Wang Fong, which only amused him. They used to be good training targets for me, he thought, but facing my disciple, it would be shameful to fight them fairly. With that, Wang Fong decided to look up at the sky and shout, Yuqing! Hearing his name, Yuqing appeared immediately. He raised his sword, his expression serious, his sharp eyes staring intently at the leader. Yuqing glided toward the madman, performing a few precise moves, and in the blink of an eye, the entire group was defeated. Having dealt with the scrappy bunch, Yuqing charged toward their leader. Lin Yuni gaped in shock when he saw Guchen's sword, his face drenched in sweat. One of his subordinates stepped in front of Lin Yuni, glaring intently at the young man, then pointed behind him sarcastically. To make us understand how to write the character for death, he sneered. You're all really risking your lives, but even that character still lacks a stroke from you. Lin Yuni pointed ahead, his face brightening as he glanced at Lin Feiwu. Did you see? No need for the sect master to intervene. Just Elder Ye is enough to take care of them. My, this must be the profound general realm. Do you see that? In the Yui Empire, those at the profound general realm are truly above the middle level. Lan felt terrified by Yigu Chen's cold expression, his heart pounding. Can he really kill 5 profound general experts in a second? He thought. No, he's probably at the nobility realm. My father couldn't even pass the nobility realm. Thinking of this, Lan was terrified, sweat pouring down his face. He could only admit his guilt. Lowering his hands and clasping them together without hesitation, he bowed his head before Wang Fong and prostrated himself. Senior, I am Lan, blind to the great mountain. Please spare my life. I will run away immediately. Let my father, the Marquis of Changlin of the Yari Empire, prepare a gift for you. As he finished speaking, he gave a sinister smile. Lin Feiwu, who was nearby, widened her eyes in anger upon hearing the name Marquis of Changlin, grinding her teeth. At the same time, Wang Fong lunged forward and grabbed Yigu Chen's shoulder, leaning his face forward and raising his voice. I don't care if you are the Marquis of Changlin or the Marquis of Dong. As long as you dare to come here, I will not let you go unpunished. Hearing Wang Fong's words, Lin Feiwu stared in disbelief. Lang stood up, cheerfully smiling as he said, How can that be? I said our sect master has no problem dealing with the Marquis of Changlin. It'll only take 2 fingers. Lin Feiwu bowed her head, recalling the events of the past. In the entire Yari Empire, no one dared to touch the estate of the Marquis of Changlin, Lin Tianshong. Not only did he possess nobility cultivation, but he also commanded an army of 500 men, each a profound general with 10 captains in the entry phase realm. Their strength was comparable to several mid-level sects in the empire. Therefore, they could act recklessly without fearing retaliation, leaving him no choice but to flee far from that place. But now, the sect master of the Divine Immortal sect didn't even seem to acknowledge the existence of the Marquis of Changlin's estate. Perhaps, she thought, he can truly protect me. Finishing his thoughts, Lin Feiwu knelt down and prostrated himself before Wang Fong. He glanced at his sister's stunned expression, and after a moment he opened his mouth to speak. What's wrong with you? Why are you suddenly performing such a ceremony? After hearing this, Lin Feiwu closed his eyes tightly and replied, Sect master, from the beginning, I thought the Divine Immortal sect had been running aimlessly, treating a disease. But now, I firmly believe that the sect master can uphold justice for the Ling family. Wang Fong, seeing his sister's anger, widened his eyes in surprise. What exactly is the grudge between you and Lan? Lin Feiwu glared, clenching her teeth as her whole body trembled. At a time when disciples were sent out for cultivation, I encountered Lin Yuni, the young Marquis of the Marquis of Changlin's estate. He was captivated by my beauty and tried to violate me. It took all my strength to escape from his grasp. I thought that ordeal was behind me. But when I returned to the Ling family, as soon as I stepped through the door, I discovered that Lin Yuni had brought the strongmen from the Marquis of Changlin's estate and slaughtered hundreds of people from the Ling family. If it weren't for my father's desperate protection, I fear I wouldn't have lived to meet the sect master. After speaking, she lifted her head. Her face darkened, her whole body trembling. One of her subordinates gently approached her to comfort her, saying, Don't worry. Whether you're my disciple or not, I intend to see this matter through. Upon hearing these words, Lin Yuni's eyes widened, and he gritted his teeth in discomfort. He dug his fingers into the ground, using all his strength, and sprang up, fleeing. Sect master, Lin Yuni has escaped? Wang Fong was a little surprised when he saw this. The villain in a comic doesn't directly resist. Then they kneel down and beg. Why isn't this guy following the usual script? Seeing the terrified expression on Lin Feiwu's face, Wang Fong boldly patted his sister on the shoulder, smiling. Don't worry. With Ye Elder here, he won't be able to escape. As soon as he finished speaking, Ye Guchen, who was standing aside, also understood the intent. He drew out his sword, which emitted a dazzling light, and unsheathed it entirely, its blade gleaming while his hair stood on end. At that moment, the crazed individuals who had been beaten up just moments ago were suddenly sent flying by Yigu Chen's sword chi. Not only that, but Wang Fong, Lin Feiwu, and Lang were also simultaneously lifted into the air. The girl and the frightened little disciple clung tightly to Wang Fong, making him helplessly think, why does Yigu Chen always want to create such a grand spectacle whenever he makes a move? Luckily, my cultivation in the imagery realm is stable. Otherwise, both I and the disciples would be in the same dire situation. The sect master's face would be completely gone by now. At that moment, someone stomped their foot on the ground and jumped up. That foot stepped on the corpses hanging in the air one by one. It turned out to be Yigu Chen's foot. Thanks to the grace of those crazed individuals, Yigu Chen quickly soared upward, just in time to catch up with Lin Yuni. The unfortunate young man raised his face and saw Yigu Chen, his mouth agape in panic, running away desperately. Guchen glared with narrowed eyes, staring straight ahead. Then he used his ultimate technique, immortal flying from heaven, launching a stream of sword chi toward Lin Yuni. The stream of sword chi struck directly into Lin Yuni's face, causing him to open his eyes in pain. Blood flowed from his face without stopping, making him cry blood. The immense force knocked him backward. Guchen retracted his sword. As the sword was withdrawn, the crazed individuals fell from the sky, blood splattering everywhere. Guchen turned to leave, not forgetting to send another wave of sword chi as a parting gift. At that moment, as Lin Yuni collapsed to the ground, something fell from his neck. It turned out to be an emerald pendant engraved with mysterious images. Ling Feiwu's eyes widened as soon as she saw the jade pendant. Her younger sister rushed over to grab the pendant, holding it tightly in her hands. The unfortunate young man looked up at the sky, trembling all over. He knelt among the corpses of his subordinates, shouting loudly. Guchen glanced over and said in a low voice, "According to the sect master, the young master has stayed here." Ling Feiwu glared at Guchen, secretly sweating and thinking, "From the very beginning, I knew this person's martial arts were extraordinary, but I never expected them to be this outstanding, especially the move immortal flying from heaven just now. Even if the Marquis of Changlin had acted directly, he probably wouldn't have escaped unscathed. With a character like this as an elder in the Divine Immortal Sect, sooner or later their reputation will be known throughout the world. Why have I never heard of them before? Am I really that shallow?" Lost in thought, he suddenly heard Wang Fong glance over and speak, causing his sister to jump. "I know about your desire to join our Divine Immortal Sect, but it was only to protect yourself that you had to act this way." Ling Feiwu felt exposed, his face darkening, a drop of sweat rolling down his cheek as he bit his lip in silence. Wang Fong placed his hand on his chest, closed his eyes tightly, and smiled. "But I truly want you to become my disciple. However, my sect is a hidden and prestigious one. You'll understand this better in time and be able to decide for yourself." Ling Feiwu, upon hearing this, smiled brightly like a blooming flower. Wang Fong observed her and thought to himself, "No wonder I'm such a renowned comic book author. This dramatic moment is pure emotional intensity." At that point, Ling Feiwu presented the jade pendant mentioned earlier. This is a jade pendant, a treasured relic passed down through the Ling family. Today, having received such great kindness from the sect master, as a form of repayment, I am willing to offer it as the fee to join the sect. Wang Fong raised his hand to touch the jade pendant, smiling brightly. "I'm not even sure if the system accepts jade as a fee, but it doesn't hurt to try." Then Wang Fong opened his eyes halfway, surprised by something. At this time, Ling Feiwu frowned, her eyes betraying sadness. Lost in thought, as if pondering something deeply, Wang Fong noticed and gasped, whispering to himself, "Why is her face suddenly so flushed?" Ling Feiwu pondered and recalled the past. "Sha Wu, did you always cry out for a piece of jade like this before? In the blink of an eye, you've grown to this age. Today, Father will give it to you. Take it. Perhaps it might even turn into a love token." At that moment, she held the jade pendant and said, "This is the heirloom jade of the Ling family." Meanwhile, Wang Fong held the pendant between his fingers and gazed at it with bright eyes. At that moment, the system displayed, "Congratulations, host. You've completed 1/10 of the task of accepting a disciple. Rewards: 1 summoning opportunity and 1 prize draw chance." Wang Fong slapped Ling Feiwu on the shoulder, startling her. The younger sister looked up, confused. Wang Fong cheerfully said, "Now you are a disciple of the Divine Immortal Sect." He widened his eyes and smiled confidently. "Your enemy is now considered our sect's enemy." After saying that, he pointed at Lin Yun. "You can take a share of the profits from that useless person." Upon hearing this, Ling Feiwu's eyes suddenly widened. She noticed a piece of wood by the roadside and, without hesitation, walked over to pick it up. Then, the younger sister strode directly toward Lin Yun, her face filled with evil energy. "Exterminate the enemy clan, like a ship sinking into a sea of blood. This grudge cannot go unavenged." She raised the sharp branch, her eyes burning with hatred, gritting her teeth as she shouted loudly, "If I don't kill you, it would be a waste of my status as the great lady of the Ling family." Without hesitation, Ling Feiwu delivered a fatal stab to Lin Yun, causing blood to splatter everywhere. The unfortunate young man painfully raised his face to the sky, opening his mouth wide to scream in despair, with blood continuously gushing from his throat. Seeing the young man's pitiful appearance, Ling Feiwu glared and said in a low voice, "Lin Yun, you took the jade to toy with me. Did you ever think of this day? She forcefully pulled the branch out of the young man's body and continued, you, high and mighty, thinking that your status as the young master of the Marquis of Chonglin's mansion could cover the sky. Did you ever think of this day? You slaughtered my entire Ling family, so your life will be the price. Finishing her words, Ling Feiwu continued to deliver a powerful stab to his chest. Blood pouring out incessantly, the branch was pulled out, dripping drop by drop. But it wasn't over. The younger sister rushed in with her elbow, driving the branch into his chest again. I ask you once more, have you ever thought of this day? Ling Yun, witnessing the scene before him, trembled and pointed at Ling Feiwu. Sect master, little junior sister, Wang Fong snickered, interrupting the chubby guy's words. Let her vent and find satisfaction. At that moment, Lin Yun's eyes widened before slowly closing. Finally, his neck turned to the side, and he met his end. No matter how powerful the force at the moment of death, one could only lie among a group of useless subordinates. The system displayed, you have a new notification. Congratulations to disciple Ling Feiwu for taking the life of a strong, profound general realm, earning 300 sect points. Ling Feiwu tightly grasped the blood-soaked branch in her hand, walking forward to kneel before Wang Fong. Thank you, sect master and elder Ye, for helping Feiwu take revenge. From now on, Feiwu lives as a member of the Divine Immortal Sect, and in death, she will also be a spirit of the Divine Immortal Sect. Wang Fong smiled and responded, I can provide you with a good foundation for practice, but whether you become truly strong or not depends on yourself. Wang Fong stepped forward and grasped Ling Feiwu's hand. The young man stared intently at her bewildered expression and said, remember this, my sect, Wang Fong, fears no one. As long as there is enmity, no matter how strong the opponent, they must be killed to bring peace. Hearing this, Fei Wu widened her eyes, staring blankly at Wang Fong. Suddenly, her eyes closed and tears welled up. The young girl, too emotional, tightly grasped Wang Fong's hand, sobbing. Fei Wu will not let down the sect master's teachings. Hearing this, the young man grinned widely, whispering to himself, I truly am a famous comic author. Controlling people's hearts is really quite simple. A hand patted the back of his neck awkwardly. I've talked too much. When the time comes, what will I teach them? Fei Wu isn't like a wooden club. Just 1 year could lead to entry phase realm right away. Suddenly, Yu Chang's sword clashed with Ling Fei Wu's, his expression turning serious. He glanced over and asked in a stern tone, Can you practice sword Dao? Hearing this, the young girl turned to look at Yi Guchen with an innocent, doe-eyed expression, shyly calling out, Elder Ye. Yi Guchen bluntly replied, Will you agree to take me as your master? Ling Feiwu, Wang Fong, and Lang were left speechless in surprise. Wang Fong saw a great opportunity and whispered to Feiwu, It's harder for Ye to actively take in a disciple than for a stone to bloom. What are you still standing there for, you silly little girl? Upon hearing this, Feiwu's eyes widened as sparkles appeared in her pupils. Instantly, Ling Feiwu bowed her head to the ground, kneeling at Yi Guchen's feet. She called out, I pay my respects, master. Seeing the girl's enthusiasm, Yi Guchen said, Your swordsmanship is very good, but before I pass it on to you, we need to deal with the internal injuries you sustained during the pursuit. Get up and follow me to treat your injuries. After saying this, he tightly shut his eyes and turned to leave. Hearing this, Fei Wu glanced at Wang Fong and called out, Sect master. He understood her meaning and smiled, simply responding, Just go ahead. After that, Wang Fong turned his face to see the two heading toward the dilapidated house and thought to himself, with a guardian and a naturally gifted disciple like Ling Feiwu, Yigu even wants to teach her swordsmanship? I thought this empty-handed endeavor would not succeed. As a result, the sect began to take shape in just an afternoon. In contrast to that joy, Lang sighed sadly when he saw Fei Wu walking off with Yigu. Little junior sister arrived later than me. Yet she could pay her respects to a strong elder Ye. I, as the big senior brother, am not as good as my little junior sister. The chubby boy shyly walked over to Wang Fong, pointing at his own face. Master, I wonder what you will arrange for me next. Upon hearing this, Wang Fong repeatedly patted the chubby boy's round belly. You should lose some weight with that body of yours, he said, pointing toward the garden in front of them. I have work for you. Go clean up the area around the house. Quickly tidy it up a bit. This is the headquarters of the Divine Immortal Sect. After hearing this, Ling felt like he had turned to stone. The sky seemed to collapse. The chubby boy diligently sat down, pulling up weeds and muttering sorrowfully. When invited, they spoke flowery words and treated me like a treasure. As soon as the little sister arrives, I become nothing but weeds. Truly outrageous. In a moment, afternoon turned to dusk, and a rainbow appeared in the sky. At that time, Wang Fong was leaning against a tree, grinning like a fool as he opened the system panel. "System, please open the property panel for the Divine Immortal Sect for me," he muttered. The system panel immediately displayed Sect. Divine Immortal Sect Level 1 Master, Wang Fong, Entry Phase Realm. Elder, Yu Chang, Nobility Realm, Peak. Disciple, Ling, Immortal Realm, Ling Feiwu, Medium Spirit Realm, Peak Sect. Headquarters in a Small World, Sect. Points. Total, 300 points. Wang Fong, feeling curious, pointed at the system panel and asked, "What are these sect points used for?" As soon as he finished speaking, the system panel displayed the information. Sect points can be used to exchange for chances to win rewards or upgrade the system. Upgrading the system allows the host to summon stronger beings, powerful spells, and accommodate more disciples. Reading this, Wang Fong's eyes lit up, and he clenched his fists with an excited expression. "So how can I earn sect points?" The system provided the ways. Complete tasks assigned by the system. Higher difficulty yields more points. Eliminate enemies. The more enemies eliminated, the more points earned. Recruit top geniuses into the sect. Higher genius ability equals more points. Wang Fong's eyes widened. Ling Feiwu, at 18 or 19, has already reached the medium spirit realm peak. So she must be a top genius, right? Why didn't her points increase after joining? The system responded. Although Ling Feiwu has potential, she does not possess a special constitution or comprehension of intent. Therefore, she has not yet reached the top genius ranking. Reading this, Wang Fong felt a headache coming on. So, Feiwu isn't considered a top genius. What does a top genius with high abilities even look like? The system promptly displayed a response. The host's own talent is ordinary. However, as the system master, you will become a top genius. Wang Fong burst into tears and exclaimed, "What about Ling's talent?" Searching for Ling's talent requires a fee of 100 points. Does the host wish to proceed? Wang Fong was left dazed. That's too much. Searching for an ordinary person for 100 points? Never mind. Just keep looking. Having paid the fee, the system began to display images. Disciple Ling, Supreme Monster. Upon seeing this information, Wang Fong was stunned. He imagined the face of the chubby guy, along with the phrase Supreme Monster, and burst out laughing. "Ha ha ha, that scared me." He glanced over with a startled face, and what caught his eye was the alluring backside of the chubby guy. Seriously, could this fat guy also be ranked as a supreme monster? At this moment, the chubby guy was still unaware of what was happening, diligently pulling weeds. After a while, the hefty brother finally used all his strength and managed to pull up a weed clump. Wang Fong, seeing this, turned pale, sweat pouring down his face as he screamed, "My God! This fat guy can be ranked as a supreme monster." The system, sensing the owner's panic, displayed, "The system is not wrong. Disciple Ling possesses the Black Spirit Tortoise body. It's just not activated yet." Wang Fong, hearing this, instinctively pointed his finger forward and asked, "Wait a minute. What is the Black Spirit Tortoise body?" The system explained, "The Black Spirit Tortoise body is a special physique at the level of a cheat. It includes two types of abilities, absolute defense and absolute vitality. Forming this body ensures that one does not harm their life. Heaven and earth do not age, and neither does he. As all things wither away, he still remains with boundless longevity. The defense is incredibly strong. Even if heaven and earth were to shatter, he could remain at ease." Hearing this, Wang Fong turned to Lang with a surprised expression. "That damn fat guy, Ling, unexpectedly has such a terrifying physique. If that's the case, if he can successfully cultivate the Black Spirit Tortoise body, wouldn't he be immortal no matter what? I must ensure he cultivates successfully. What's the system method to activate that body of Ling?" Wang Fong asked. As soon as he finished speaking, the system panel displayed an image of Ling. At that moment, the fat guy was holding a ring of grass, smiling. "Grass mirror. Do you know who is the strongest person in Sinan mainland? The strongest man in Sinan mainland is none other than Ling." The fat guy raised his face to the sky, flaring his nostrils. Hearing those cold words, the system asked, "Host, do you think Lang deserves to be beaten?" Wang Fong thought for a moment and replied, "Well, I think so too." The system continued, "Because the method to activate the Black Spirit Tortoise is to be beaten." At that moment, the phrase beaten kept replaying in Wang Fong's mind. Causing him to frown in annoyance, Wang Fong muttered, "What the hell? The Black Spirit Tortoise body needs to be beaten from the outside without stopping, so the blood vessels within can be activated and fully revived." Hearing this, Wang Fong realized something and smiled brightly. He thought, if I can't find some legendary treasure to activate Lei body for now, then beating him is way too simple. After all, as long as he doesn't get beaten to death, right? With that thought, Wang Fong envisioned the scene of Lei hanging in the air while F. Wu continuously hit him with a stick with perfect accuracy. The tortoise body is strong like that. It should be fine. At that moment, Ling was playing with his grass mirror when a sudden gust of wind swept by, causing him to fearfully cover his head and run away. Why is there such an inexplicable chill? While running, he suddenly noticed something and stopped, squinting his eyes as he asked, "Grass mirror, what is that in the sky?" A fierce whirlpool appeared in the sky, surrounded by rumbling lightning strikes. Ling, terrified, rushed to hug Wang Fong, crying uncontrollably. "Sect Master, what is happening in the sky?" "Don't worry," Wang Fong reassured. "Everything is in my hands." In fact, it was just a spontaneous boast. A moment later, he turned to the system and asked, "What's happening with the atmosphere in the sky?" The system responded, "Disciple Ling F. Wu is about to break through to the profound general realm. That is a sign during the level up." Wang Fong looked at it in astonishment. "I really didn't expect that Yi Guang would help Ling F. Wu heal and ultimately cause her breakthrough." With this information, he pointed at the whirlpool and said to Lang, "Your junior sister, F. Wu, is about to break through to the profound general level. That's a sign during the level up." The chubby man was very surprised upon hearing this, secretly thinking, the junior sister just entered the sect. Not only has she been accepted by the peak strong Yiguang as a master, but she's also breaking through her cultivation. In contrast, me? I'm still completely mortal. And at this rate, I'm afraid my status as senior brother won't last. Lost in thought, someone's finger poked directly into the chubby cheek of the fat guy. Wang Fong glanced over at Ling and smiled. "No need to be disheartened. Tomorrow I'll teach you how to cultivate. Just give it some time and you will definitely surpass your junior sister F. Wu. It's not impossible. You just have to be able to endure it." After hearing those words, the fat guy was extremely excited and full of energy, thumping his chest boastfully. "Thank you, Sect Master. Don't worry, Lang can endure." Wang Fong smiled. "I also believe your body can endure." After saying that, the master and disciple turned their eyes toward the light from the vortex. "I am really looking forward to the moment you break through to the profound general realm. Will the sign be even greater?" Switching scenes to the mountain opposite Wang Fong's residence, a sudden stream of spiritual weapon pierced down from somewhere. A moment later, a slender man appeared, his whole body continuously emitting streams of hidden weapons. His deep red pupils gleamed as he opened his eyes wide, grinning menacingly. I didn't expect to sleep for hundreds of years. And when I wake up, I can see a part of the profound general realm. It's truly something to look forward to." He stared intently at the swirling vortex in front of him, grinning mischievously. "It's just that the profound general realm can become my meal, which is also your honor." With that, he kicked hard against the cliff and dashed straight down without hesitation. Moreover, he looked incredibly cheerful, smiling brightly like a flower from another angle. We could now clearly see the speed of his altitude as he searched for a tasty prey. At this moment, the swirling vortex in the sky gradually dissipated, and strange red cracks appeared on the mountaintop for unknown reasons. In the blink of an eye, a large explosion occurred, causing the cliff to shatter into pieces. Once the mountain shattered, another vortex appeared in the sky, even more powerful than before. Lightning bolts continuously struck down, and from the vortex accumulated a spiritual weapon ball. That spiritual weapon ball struck directly into Wang Fong's dilapidated house, and the sky immediately turned dark. After a while, the sky returned to normal, and a foot belonging to someone appeared. F. Wu stepped out with Yi Guchen, her entire body brimming with accumulated spiritual weapon energy. "Congratulations to the disciple Ling F. Wu of the Sect Master for breaking through to the profound general realm. This time, the reward is 1,000 Sect points." Wang Fong grinned widely upon receiving the announcement. "This young girl is truly a genius. She's just one realm away from me. Luckily, I have the system. Otherwise, I'd be left behind and wouldn't know how to face everyone." F. Wu approached, clasped her hands, and bowed to Wang Fong. "Thank you, Sect Master, for giving F. Wu this opportunity." Lang, standing aside, felt a bit jealous. He turned to Wang Fong and whispered, "This tiny profound general realm is nothing. Just wait. In a year, my entry phase will truly be called a genius." Wang Fong extended his hand toward Yi Guchen. "Fortunately, we have Ye Elder beside us. I hope that in the future, you can take the sect's reputation and bring it to greatness." At that moment, a gust of energy swept past Yi Guchen, and he instinctively glanced over. In midair, a circle of evil energy appeared, emanating a voice. I thought there was only one token of the profound general realm. As soon as the words left his mouth, the young man filled with evil energy appeared behind Wang Fong.